What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video. So we just had the full data download last night for the Law and Blackbeard Super Sugo Fest batch. We've already talked about them in the videos, that obviously with the announcements on X and on their official news post website. These characters are interesting, and I think a lot of people have the same sentiment, or a lot of people are sharing a very similar sentiment where, yeah, Law and Blackbeard are a pretty cool unit, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not that excited for these units at all. I feel like a lot of people have that same mindset right now. Even I have that mindset of like, yeah, these units are kind of cool, but I wouldn't be completely upset if I didn't get them either, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. For a Super Sugo, and like, this is one of the first Super Sugos that's ever come out where I'm just kind of like, yeah, I don't really care about these units that much. Law and Blackbeard have some very interesting abilities, specifically Blackbeard. Out of the two, Blackbeard is the one that I like the most, but Law has some interesting abilities. Kuzan, I'm not really the biggest fan of. One thing that is cool about this, though, is once again, we do get a free multi, but again, like, you can't really expect too much heading into a free multi because they're really, really low rates to get legends, but if you do get a red, you do have a chance at pulling the brand new units. But along with that, there's going to be some new rare recruits, there's a new free-to-play unit, which is what this video is dedicated about. So we also have like all of the parts of the Sugo Fest. So part 1 is going to be debuting right here, where all of the units will be available. In terms of the Sugo structure, it looks relatively similar to what happened with part 1, Luffy, Kaido, Yamato, Momo, Denjiro, and Kinemon. The last multi of part 1 is a limited pull Super Sugo unit only, so it's like kind of whatever. You got part 2 here, which is featuring just Law and Blackbeard, so Kuzan I don't think is pullable on part 2. But you do also have Shanks. 10th anniversary Shanks will be available here. And then, of course, right at the bottom there, Super Sugo Fest exclusive Blackbeard versus Law will be pullable from the 30th multi. Is there any one of those steps where it's like, you know, one of those ones where it's like you get a bunch of reds in a multi? You get like a super limited pull on the 10th and stuff like that. It's probably on part 1, right? Multi 10, yeah, 50% chance for all posters to be red. That kind of makes sense. And then you've got part 3, which does feature the Kuzan, and I'm pretty sure it's not a Super Sugo. Yeah, it doesn't mention Super Sugo there at the bottom. I mean, reading Kuzan's abilities, you guys would have seen him in the video. I was pretty upset about it. I really wish Kuzan was a lot better than what he currently is, and that shows that because he's not a Super Sugo unit. Would have been really confused if he was. Okay, that makes sense. You've got the 10th anniversary Luffy also featured alongside Kuzan here, and Luffy and Shanks both featured on part 2, part 3. These units are very good, but we don't know what else is going to be featured on these banners until the official news post at 1900 PST time today. So let's actually take this time to have a look at some of the other rare recruits that are debuting alongside here. The first one here is Jesus Burgess. Burgess, out of the two, there's 2 different rare recruits. There's Burgess and then there is Van Orga. Burgess, I think, is the weaker of the 2 of them. So he is a powerhouse fighter. He is int, and his captain ability obviously doesn't really matter. His special ability, though, it does a 20% health cut to 1 target. So it is a damage dealing special, which you can, you know, make use of. He also reduces the duration of barriers by 2, which is pretty good. He applies increased damage taken to all enemies 1.75 times, but it doesn't go through full immunity, so be careful about that. Then if you have a full team of powerhouse characters, and your HP is 50% or below when you launch the special, he reduces damage reduction from certain slot effects by 5 turns. So that's pretty cool. I think this is one of the first characters in the game to actually remove that. So that's pretty neat. And then also further increases increased damage taken by 0.3. He just doesn't do that much. So health cut, barrier removal by 2. He does do increased damage taken, not through immunity. And then if you have a full powerhouse team and you're 50% or below HP, then you remove the damage from slots and then further buff increased damage taken. Like, honestly, he just doesn't do enough for me personally. He's just very, very mid rare recruit character. In terms of his crewmate abilities, though, if you have a full powerhouse squad, he does remove attack down by 1. It's a very good crewmate ability that he has, and then he gives powerhouse a 200 base HP boost. He does not have a support effect, so just a lot of things showing here. He's a very, very mid rare recruit character. Very, very mid, okay? Let's pivot and have a look at Van Orga, because Van Orga definitely looks way, way better. So he is a powerhouse shooter, he is int, and then his captain ability also doesn't really matter, but it is a multi-stage special. Now, I actually want to start things off with stage 2. The stage 2 special reduces all enemies' HP by 10%, another damage dealing special, reduces powerhouse characters, special charge time, and their versus effect gauge by 2. reduces bind duration by 5, applies a 20% powerhouse resistance down for 1 turn, changes powerhouse slots including block into matching, and then if you have a full team of powerhouse and you have less than 50% health remaining, he will go ahead and add 0.3 to attack boosts and slot effect boosts that are launched after this special has been activated. This does make sense because he does also have a crewmate ability, spoiler, to resist special reverse. So if you do get special reversed, this guy can reverse them and then also buff attack and all boosts that are launched by your other powerhouse units for the turn. Thematically all makes sense. This character is really, really strong. He then will go ahead and state, then after that, right at the bottom, reduces his own special charge time by 7 turns. And surprise, surprise, his cooldown for stage 1 is 7, which means you can use his special again, which does a 10% health cut again, reduces powerhouse cooldown and versus effect by 1, reduces bind by 2, and then you get matching slots once again. The cool thing about this is that if you combine both stage 1 and stage 2, he does 2 hits of 10% health cut, he does -3 to special cooldown and versus effect gauge, removes 7 turns of bind, full board of matching slots, and then also if you have the full powerhouse squad, less than 50% health, you can buff attack and all boost launch during that turn. He just seems way more usable. I can see this guy being used in a lot more teams just compared to Jesus Burgess. So I really do like this character overall. He does resist special reverse by 3, which makes sense with his special. If you have a full team of powerhouse, you get a base attack boost by 125. And then he does have the effect of reducing his own cooldown by 3 turns at the start of the quest. This is a little redundant in my opinion, unless if you want to use him to specifically ultra charge your character's cooldowns. Like, don't even use him for special reverse like shenanigans. Literally just using him to charge your character's specials is potentially an option as well. He also does not have a support effect, which is a little upsetting that these characters don't have that. But those are the 2 rare recruits. Van Orga seems really good. Burgess seems pretty mid overall. And then of course we've got the 2 units in Law vs Blackbeard and the Kuzan character. Man, I wish Kuzan was a lot better. And I mean, this character is just, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see if people are actually going to go super crazy for these units, and potentially they might be better than what we're initially expecting, but they seem very, very convoluted, so I don't know if people are really going to go above and beyond to potentially get their hands on this character. So the other thing is that when you go over to the event island, you can go to the Sugo Fest trial, and you've got the trial quest for Blackbeard and also for Law. The thing is when you actually go into this, there is a brand new character on this crew that we can go ahead and have a look at, which is going to be the Beppo. Now this Beppo is going to be the brand new free-to-play Pirate King Adventures character. So PKA is going to be coming up shortly, and judging by the fact that Beppo is the character in this event, Blackbeard and his batch are probably going to be the batch you want to use to take on this content, so we'll see how things go. So in terms of Beppo, he is a Psi powerhouse striker, so you can use him both with Trafalgar Law and you can use him with Blackbeard. In terms of the potential ability straight off the cuff, he does have triple special launch, which is very interesting. So let's go ahead and break down what he's actually doing. So the captain ability gives himself -5 turns of cooldown at the start of the quest. Powerhouse and Striker get 4.25 times attack, HP 1.3, recovery slots are going to be matching for the crew, and then if this character became the captain during the quest, your crew's normal attacks will ignore enemies' defensive effects, but cancels all of your defensive effects. This is pretty cool because this is basically like the Sulong effects. So allowing your character's normal attacks to bypass defensive effects is very good, but he needs to become the captain in the middle of a quest for that to activate. So that's not really something that you can bank on. You have to have other characters in order to do it because, again, spoiler, his kit currently doesn't allow him to switch into captain position. We do know that the new Trafalgar Law character can do that. We know that in this team scenario, it doesn't actually work because the character in the middle right position will become the captain with Law Special when you fulfill the condition. In this case, Kuzan would be the captain in middle right position, but, you know, realistically, if you want to get that to activate, you'd put Beppo in that position. It just depends on the scenario. Now, in terms of the rest of his effect, let's have a look at this special ability. So the special here, if we have a look at this one, it reduces all enemies' Rainbow Shield by 2 turns, and then also gives color affinity boost to Psi, Powerhouse, and Striker by 1.75 for 2 turns, but it allows this color affinity boost to be buffed up to 2 separate times. So that's a nice effect that he gets access to. It then says that if this character has used his special 1 time or more, and your HP is less than 70%, it will further increase your color affinity boost by 0.2. this effect also applies from the effect from the special. So that's cool. So you use the special if you've used it 1 or more times. So you don't get it on the initial launch, but if you use it a second time in the turn, then you get the effect here where if you have less than 70%, then he will buff the color affinity. And also extend the duration of it by 1 turn. So it becomes a 3-turn color affinity boost. And then says that if this character has used it 1 or more time, but you have 70% or more HP, then it cuts your crew's HP by 50%, but it further increases the color affinity by 0.4, and it doesn't extend the duration of that color affinity boost. So if you have the higher HP, you get the health cut, and you buff the affinity more. But if you have below 70% HP already, then it gives you a minor increase to the effect, but it will actually go ahead and extend the duration. But of course, with the way that the effect kind of works, if you have high HP, use the special, and then you use it again, so you basically get plus 0.4, you get like a plus 0.6 increase to the effect. So it becomes a 2.35 color affinity boost for 3 turns. And remember, every time you launch the special, you're removing Rainbow Shield by 2 turns. So it removes up to 6 turns of Rainbow Shield, which is actually really, really good. It then says that if this character has used his special 3 times or more, he sets your chain multiplier minimum at 3.25 for 3 turns. Now, this is actually going to be pretty difficult to achieve because it says 3 times or more. I'm pretty sure it doesn't include the special that you launch. Like, it starts off at 0, you use it once, it goes to 1, use it again, it goes to 2, use it again, it goes to 3, and then you'd have to use it like a 4th time in order for you to actually get the 3.25 times chain boundary for 3 turns. So, and because he has such a high cooldown, 15 turns of cooldown, like, that's ridiculous. I don't think that last effect is realistic, unless if there's some weird convoluted manner in which that you're able to get this to work. But if you are able to get it to work effectively, it does have some pretty high potential, of course. And as we mentioned, he doesn't have an effect to become the captain in the middle of a quest. So, you know, you have to rely on other effects to make him become the captain to actually make use of the normal attacks bypassing defensive effects. The thing is, though, we'll talk about it in just a moment, but his Rumble stuff, it gives a little bit of a tease as to what's to come. But his crewmate ability sets all slots to recovery at the start of the quest and makes them matching. That's a fantastic crewmate ability. And then boosts side characters' base stats by 100. And then also, once it goes ahead and launches here, reduces crew's attack down duration by 1 turn. That's very, very good. And if you use this with the new recruit, Jesus Burgess, then it does remove up to 2 turns of attack down passively. That's wicked. So Beppo as a crewmate is going to be very, very good. But as I said, talking about spoilers for this guy, having a look at his Rumble kit, it shows off that it is indeed going to be a Sulong Beppo. So they didn't even try to hide it. Remember, the PKA units will super evolve in the next treasure map that's going to debut. So we do know that when we get the super evolution skulls for Beppo, he will transform into Sulong Beppo. In terms of what he does in Rumble, nothing really too crazy. It's a free-to-play unit. The characters are not very strong at all. But just the fact that we're going to be getting Sulong Beppo is cool. It is such a shame that this is the free-to-play unit. I wish Kuzan was the free-to-play unit, and then this guy was the Sugo Fest exclusive debuting alongside the Law vs. Blackbeard, because if we got like this with like legend quality, this character would be amazing. Like, if this captain ability had like a higher captain effect multiplier and like more cooldown for the crew and like maybe an additional piece of utility, and then also if you could become the captain, he gets all of those effects, like that would work so well with Trafalgar Law, but we're just not getting that, which is a bit of a shame. So yeah, a bit of a missed opportunity in my opinion. This guy would have been way better as the legend. Kuzan could have been free to play, and then we could have a Kuzan Sugo Fest exclusive later on down the line debuting with Garb. But that's pretty much all I wanted to talk about with you guys today. You know, making sure you guys know exactly what's to come here in terms of the brand new batch of characters with the new recruits, the new free-to-play units. There's also like a bunch of new level limit breaks and limit break expansions in this event as well. But overall, that's it, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know your thoughts and opinions about all of these brand new units down below in the comment section. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one though, and if you did, make sure to go ahead and leave a like. And if you want to stay up to date with all the content I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.